Chapter 7. Ferdinand. Maybe this was a mistake? Rosamine unsettled him. Who would have thought it would be a small child to have such a deep impact on him? It was absurd. His curiosity was first piqued when his sources informed him that Bezevinst went out of his way to visit a little apprentice blue shrine maiden that had not even been baptized yet. The girl may be the daughter of a member of Veronica's faction, but still. Normally, the pompous oaf would just send word to come to him, not the other way around. What was his motive? Maybe he intended to groom her to be one of his future flowers? He quickly discarded that line of thought. It made him highly uncomfortable just to think about something like that. In the end, it was just an irrelevant happenstance, not worthy of his time. He had enough work to contend with after his brother Sylvester dumped his work on him. Again. At least this gave him more evidence of corruption for his collection, so that was something at least. The next time he heard about the girl was when one of his grey robe attendants informed him he overheard the girl's attendants were discussing what to get their young charge to read, as they were running out of materials for her. He found it unusual enough to report it to him, and Ferdinand agreed. They are running out of reading material. The girl was just 4, if he remembered correctly. How could they possibly run out? Wait a moment. The girl could read fluently enough to run out of material after becoming 4, so that meant she could already read at 3. A cold feeling bloomed in his stomach. The girl could potentially be a child genius like him, and Bezevinst was already aware of her, which meant his sister maybe too. No, it was none of his business. Why should he care about some random girl? He had enough problems himself. He would let one of his greys monitor the situation from now on, though, just to be safe. And maybe extend an invitation to assess her himself when he had the time to spare. Just to make sure. The cold feeling receded. Just before the dedication ritual this winter season, he was informed that the girl fell ill with a fever. After recovering, she was then summoned to a meeting by Bezevinst. Well, nothing much unusual at this point. What was unusual was that the oaf was instructing her in the ritual. Himself. The High Bishop's mood was at an all-time high right after, which was even more worrying. Now it was time to assess her himself. She arrived with a grace not usually found in even Archduke candidates until they were about to enter the Royal Academy, let alone children her age. The greetings she gave were acceptable, and her poise as she stood up after finishing was immaculate. Interesting. But it was her appearance that threw him slightly off. She was like a miniature Maschinora walking out of the Bible to greet him. Starting their conversation, he was slightly annoyed at her cheek, but that was not the most confusing part, no. She was clearly adept in the dance of Grimarator, enough so that she threw him off several times. She even managed to corner him into giving multiple concessions in addition to a promise to teach her. How? Who was this girl? She was clearly much too advanced for a 5-year-old noble daughter, let alone a blue shrine maiden apprentice. What was going on? Revising her lesson plan revealed it was absolutely bloated with material far too advanced for her age. And why were there so many dancing and harpspiel lessons? It made no sense at all. This was absurd. It did not get better after her first lesson with him. It took her receiving only the most basic overview of the terminology and procedures to begin her work. Her ability to work with numbers was insane. She did not even need a calculator. She could seemingly calculate large numbers just in her head. At their second session, Her work speed rivaled his, without errors. By the divine couple, she was 5. He had so many questions now. The absurdity did not end there. The next session after that, she requested to become the new orphanage director. The post was free, of course, after Sister Margaret climbed the towering heights, but her reasoning... You aspire to become the new orphanage director? Yes. Ordo Schnelli's melodies were mostly off-tune regarding their circumstances. The state of the orphanage is an affront to Vija Milch. But even more appalling, it is draining an unnecessarily high part of the temple budget, which is small enough already. I intend to become full trained to make it self-sustained, maybe even invoke Griefitchen's favor. But only Dragoner's Weave may grace us with an Haltung. So she thinks she can improve their condition enough to make them self-sufficient, and even thinks she can make a profit. It is true that some rumors circulate about the poor state of the orphanage, but to think even a young child like her was aware of them. What a disgrace. Still, I need to ask. You believe yourself capable of that? Of course, I am blessed by the gods after all. Very well. Shortly after taking up her new position, she summoned some merchants to the temple. He did not really care. Most likely it was part of her plans for the supposed self-sustainability she talked about. It was the thing she asked of him after all of that which threw him off. Again. You want to rent a noble ring or something similar for a day. Why? Seeing as I am handling important administrative material for my ongoing project in the orphanage now, I intend to construct a hidden room in my new office. How do you even know about that? Anyway, you could have simply requested my assistance for that. I am your current Ervaclaren after all. It warms my heart oh so much to know Mastinara's trust in her Ervaclaren was justified, but involving you in the creation would not mean you can enter it too? Technically, yes, but I will simply lend you a ring as I instruct you in its creation. I thank you oh so much, High Priest. I am beginning to question if becoming her teacher was a mistake.